Can you imagine in a marriage relationship coming home to your spouse and finding them in bed with someone else? And not only that, but they know you're there and they continue to do it. And then even after the one-time event is done, they continue to do it again and again because they don't care. You're there, it doesn't matter. If this was me, I would probably decide to leave. And a lot of us would probably choose to do exactly that. So understanding that jealousy, we can look at how God is relaying the problems with Israel and Ham to Ezekiel. We've been looking at Ezekiel together, if you've been following along with me. In Ezekiel chapter 8, Ezekiel says that God takes him in a vision, brought me in visions to Jerusalem, to the entrance of the gateway of the inner court that faces north, to the seat of the image of jealousy, which provokes to jealousy. And the glory of the God of Israel was there, like the vision that I had seen in the valley. So Ezekiel goes on to tell us that in the temple, on the walls were painted creeping things and loathsome images. They had idols in the house of God. And the worst of the worst, in the place where they are supposed to be offering incense on the altar to God, they are actually bowing down and worshiping the sun, not the Son of God, the golden orb that God created that's in the sky. And God says here, mortal, do you see what they are doing? The great abominations, think of it as adulteries, the great adulteries that the house of Israel are committing here to drive me far from my sanctuary. Goes on to say this is not going to be tolerated. And it actually ends chapter 8 saying, therefore I will act in my wrath. My eye will not spare, nor will I have pity. And though they cry in my hearing with a loud voice, I will not listen to them. God wants to be known. He wants to be loved by his people. And he wants that first place. It tells us in Isaiah 42:8, God says, I will not yield my glory to another. God does not take second place. And for the Israelites, the path is clear. You've done this. I'm getting ready to walk. This is terrible. For us, we also need to look at this through a lens of how this applies in our lives. Are there things that we value more than God? Do we worship them with our time and resources more than God? God will not yield his glory to another. It's time for a checkup. How are you doing in terms of honoring God with first place in your life? He is a jealous God, jealous for our love. He deserves our love. He deserves first place. So make it right in your life. Blessings on you today.